I want to know where Fat Ed is, or I'm going to kill you.
Senor, I don't know no Fat Ed. I was just lying.
I'm in a hurry.
I don't know.
Move or I'll slit your throat.
'Hey, what's up everybody? It's Prone here, back from hiatus to bring you season 2 of Prone's Picks. Now, this season I've changed up the format a bit. I know everybody's time's precious, so I've decided to shorten the episodes. Instead of talking about 5 underappreciated or underseen films, plus honorable mentions, I'm going to do the double header format. So I'll be choosing 2 films that are somehow related or I think will be a really good double header and that are also accessible. Now on today's episode, I'm going to be taking it back to my horror roots and I'll be talking about an Orts horror double feature. Now when these films came out, they were fairly well regarded within the horror community. But since then, I feel like they may have become a little underseen or underappreciated. Not that many people talk about them anymore. I think they're definitely due for re-evaluation. So first up, we'll be talking about 2007's vampire flick 30 Days of Night, followed by 2003's hillbilly horror Wrong Turn. Two 2007's 30 Days of Night is a vampire horror flick based on the comic book series of the same name. It's directed by David Slade and stars Josh Hartnett and Melissa George, aka Angel from Home and Away. The story focuses on a far north Alaskan town named Barrow that experiences 30 days of solid darkness every year. The town is discovered by a group of ruthless vampires who viciously hunt down the people that stay behind for the month-long twilight. Now, this is one that I was lucky enough to catch in the cinemas back in the day, and it really impressed me. We're in that post 9/11 phase of horror films that were quite relentless and brutal. The torture porn films such as Hostel, which I wasn't really that big a fan of. But this one here, although it's quite bleak and brutal at times, it still really won me over. There's really a lot to like about this movie, and what stands out first to me is the overall quality of the production, especially the production design. Super slick but gritty visuals, a fantastic score and sound design, really solid cast of capable actors, and of course the absolutely badass vampire designs. Now this is one of my favorite vampire designs of all time, period. It is absolutely stunning. I love how vicious they are, how they almost have blood all over them at all possible times, how they communicate in their own language, and their overall disdain for humans. Veteran actor Danny Hewson is absolutely all in as the leader of the vampire pack. He sells it big time, and in the hands of a lesser actor or someone less committed, it definitely wouldn't have worked. Good supporting cast as well. Mark Boone Jr. is good as the outcast who becomes a sort of reluctant hero. And pre-leading man, Ben Foster, is also really great in a supporting role as a mega creepy human tracker who's in league with the vampire pack. Anyway, like I said before, for as much praise as this film has garnered from horror fans, I still think it's fairly slept on and definitely due for re-evaluation. So check this one out if you're in the mood for a film that doesn't romanticize vampires, and also if you're in the mood for a balls to the wall type no nonsense horror film. 30 Days of Night is currently streaming for free on ABC iView.
Hello? We're lost. We're looking for a phone.
Two 2003's Wrong Turn is a backwoods horror film directed by Rob Schmidt and starring DTV favourite Desmond Harrington and one of my oldest crushes, Eliza Dushku. The basic premise, and the story is quite straightforward, is that a group of teens break down somewhere in West Virginia. Moments later, a motorist named Chris, played by our hero Harrington, crashes into their vehicle. The stranded group try to find help, but discover that they're being hunted by a family of backwoods cannibals. Now, this is another one that I caught in cinemas when it came out, and yeah, it left a really strong impression on me. I really enjoyed it. Horror fans though, and reviewers, well, they were mixed. A lot of fans dismissed it, calling it another Hills Have Eyes ripoff, but it was more than that for me. In fact, I actually enjoyed it more than the Hills Have Eyes, well, the remake anyway. For me, it's more of it reminds me of like a lean and mean 70s grindhouse film. The story is quite simple, but the pacing is relentless. It's basically one dope set piece after another, and it barely gives you any time to catch your breath or reset. There's some really inventive kills and genuine moments of great tension building. The setting of West Virginia is also a plus, and they use it to their advantage when crafting the awesome set pieces. The creature design and makeup effects are handled by the legendary Stan Winston, RIP, and his fantastic team. Now, you may know Stan's work from such films as The Terminator, Predator, Monster Squad, and a little film called Jurassic Park. So, needless to say, all the hillbillies and all the kills look fantastic. They're just the right amount of terrifying and gross. Now, the main 4 or 5 protagonists in the film are actually pretty solid actors, and they've gone on to have pretty decent careers, so that is definitely a plus. The standout for me though has got to be my girl Eliza Dushku, aka The Douche. I think that apart from playing Faith in Buffy, this is probably her most iconic role. Well, at least to horror fans. She's so level-headed and badass in this, not to mention ridiculously hot. God, I just absolutely love her. Now, check this one out if you're in the mood for a good old-fashioned midnight horror film. Look, it probably won't win over any of the new A24 horror fans, but if you're like me and you can appreciate both, and you're in the mood for a lean and mean old-school horror throwback, Wrong Turn is definitely for you. Now, Wrong Turn is currently streaming on Stan, and there's a fairly decent rip of it on YouTube. Well, that's it for episode 1, season 2 of Prone's Picks. Thanks for sticking around for the full episode. Be sure to let me know what are some of your favorite aughts horror films in the comments. Hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're in lockdown, please stay safe, stay sane, be kind to one another. If you're not in lockdown, take advantage of that shit. I'm Prone, I'll catch you next time. Peace.